group of folks here. We're not prepared for the stresses of battle, the stresses of war, real-life combat. I have confidence in you. I can see it in your eyes. You're ready. Are you ready? Tell me you're ready! Yes, I'm ready. I will have a number 5 with a large sweet tea. Just... So I've already gone over some of the basics of the regular game of Abaddon. If you didn't see that video, you can go ahead and click the I, which is going to be right up there. You can go ahead and click that. You can see a little explanation in my opinions of the base game of Abaddon. But in this, I'm going to go over the expansion, which is called Abaddon Shattered Command, which alters some of the rules that are in the basic book. Now, the first thing that it adds a brand new unit to the game. Now, this is obviously a prototype unit. You're not just going to have something on this little foam core board. You're going to have something a little bit nicer. But this is now a bunker. So the bunker does not move. It starts off with 6 power crystals, denoting its health. And if it has to defend itself, because it can't outright attack, but if it's defending, you're going to roll the D10 that is associated with your heavy unit. Because it's a bunker, it's going to be pretty beefy, and it's going to be pretty hard to do a lot of big damage to it. So sometimes only one player has a bunker, sometimes both players have a bunker, all depending. If you are the lucky recipient of one of the bunkers, then you get to have a couple of these new program cards. So what you'll do is you will shuffle these up if you are the recipient of one of the bunkers. And you will draw 3 of these program cards, and these are going to be used throughout the entire scenario. So they do different things. For example, we have Activation Override. After activation dice are rolled, activate 1 additional unit of your choice. So you can use your command bunker to say, hey, you, go out there. I know you didn't have a die, but go ahead and go out there and do a thing, which is pretty cool. See here, Restore Command. After your activation dice are rolled, draw 2 weapon cards for each die that showed weapon systems, which is really cool. You'll get a really cool advantage with that, because normally weapon systems only allow you to draw 1 card. And let's see here, Temporary Weapon Enhancement. Before activation dice are rolled, place a temporary weapon enhancement marker on any unit. The unit will add +2 weapons systems card. The unit will add +2 to the weapon systems card during a combat. Remove the temporary weapon enhancement marker when the unit loses a power crystal. So this will temporarily beef up one of your units. But there's a good amount of cards, and it just makes the game a little bit more interesting. You're also going to get a big stack of some upgrade tokens that if you want to use these, you can buy these with a certain amount of points in the beginning of the game. There are scenarios that say that you can go ahead and purchase these. And this explains what some of the upgrades are on here. So for example, we have like jump jets right here. It says only usable by infantry, so you can place the jump jets on your infantry for 2 points. And instead of normal movement, you can jump up to 3 sectors and end in a clear sector. So you can go whoosh. So that is pretty cool. So these are some upgrades that you'll get in the game. As addition to that, you're going to get a whole bunch of new scenarios that are going to use some of the new things. There's also new terrain rules where normally in just the base game, you have your terrain set up like this and you can't go through it, and it usually blocks line of sight. Where if you're playing with the expansion or just want to play with that one rule, instead you're just going to take these apart and place it down wherever it is, and then that becomes an enterable city or forest or wherever it is, and you'll get some benefits from entering the city. You might get some additional cover or some some other additional benefits from being able to walk into those different types of terrain. Also, something that has changed, instead of rolling all 5 of these command dice, you're only going to roll 4. So now you're a little bit more limited, even though you have a lot more stuff. This is to really balance out the game, because some of these program cards are pretty powerful. So now you're only going to be rolling 4 dice. You have to be a lot more strategic with how you decide which units you're going to move when you roll them. Also, the command die, if you decide to use that to draw a weapon systems card, you get to draw 2 cards now with that command instead of just the 1. So you get a little bit more with a little bit less. The game is still played in the same way, just rolling the fewer amount of dice. But we have these new different types of missions. If you've gone through all the missions in the book and you want something a little bit more fresh and something a little bit more different, where a lot of these have a lot more units on the board. There is one where you're all playing on the same team, which this one's pretty cool. So you're all playing on the same team. This is just a complete training mission. So you're just trying to see who can do the best, and it's not really, an all-out war. But that is Abaddon, the Shattered Command expansion.
This program is part of the Pathological Nerdcasters Network. Find more at pncn.rocks, where all the geeks come to play.
So that is just a little bit about Abaddon Shattered Command, which is the expansion for the base game of Abaddon. If you want to see my full review of Abaddon, right up there you can go ahead and click the I, and that'll take you to that so you can see what my opinions were of this game. But I really think that this expansion is really cool. I really like how it changes up the game just a little bit after you've learned it, and maybe all of the things got a little bit stale in the base game, or you just got tired of everything there. I do like that you have this fun new unit that you can play with. I'm excited to see what a full version of the new unit will look like. So it just kind of freshens up the game, gives you something a little bit more. The program card just kind of tweak and add something to that. Changing the amount of dice that you roll down to 4 makes it that much more stressful and strategic. It's like, oh, I don't have as much, play with what I can do. You got to make every turn count. Whereas, in the previous game, you could be like, I'm going to roll my dice, and oh, I'll do that. Maybe next turn I'll roll that. So you have a little bit more concern with each and every move, and that makes it that much more interesting. But if this looks like something that you would enjoy, and you already have the base game, or if you want to pick up the base game and you might as well get the expansion, down below I have a link to their Kickstarter that you can go ahead and check that out and see if it's something that you really want to back. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and help support Cloak and Meeple. Right over there, click on my logo to subscribe. You can click on the Patreon link to help support Cloak and Meeple. Thanks for watching.